Hi, and welcome to the Digital Sprinters Mastermind webinar session. So we're getting ready to start here. And if this is your first time here, then welcome. And if you are returning, then welcome back. I'm just going to give about a minute to allow other people to show up. I have some slides done up, so I'm going to kind of go over a little bit of how the mastermind works. Once a month, the first Thursday of every month, a group meets to mastermind, to talk about a topic that's of interest for the group, some learning opportunity for everybody. And then the second half of the session is actually where it's really more interactive, where we're talking about each other's goals and what we hope to achieve. We help hold each other accountable for actions. It's kind of like having your own mini team of expert coaches, as it were. You can use them as a sounding board. You can use them to get their advice and opinion. We've all done things different. So it's kind of nice to get that interaction. As solopreneurs or individual business builders, even if you're in network marketing, it's nice to get around a different group of people. And somebody who's not necessarily directly related in your core business, but is building a business in a little different way. It gives you richness. So I'll send you an invitation by the end of this. There'll be an invitation for you to join us if you'd like to join us for the full sessions going forward. But for now, we welcome you for the first half of the webinar, what we call the webinar part of the mastermind meeting. We're going to do this for a little while, open up the first half to allow the public to see what we talk about. Now, and if you're jumping into the meeting, again, I'm going to encourage everybody, and I do this every month. I encourage you to come on out and join in the discussion. We can have up to 8 people live at the same time, so it's kind of fun. The more people we have out here, the better. I am more than happy to talk. I have some slides done. And the irony is this month, the topic is about being shy and socially shy. And you kind of have to overcome that if you're going to do business online. It's pretty important. And the funny part is I'm actually a very shy person, very introverted, very shy, and I can be very private. So there's a lot of things that I've had to overcome in order to get this far. So you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up those slides. Just give me a second. I have them over there, and that should pop into the center. There we go. And normally I put myself in hiding, but I'm going to try and stay live with you. I just figured with this topic, it's probably good if I just stay live with you. All right. So again, if you're here for the first half of our discussion, which is on social media for the socially shy or awkward, then you're definitely in the right place. And if you're one of those people that says, oh, no camera, don't look at me. Hey, I get you. I'm with you on that one. But you're in the right place, because we're going to talk about some tips that I know I've used, some tips that other people have told me about, and some other things you can do to overcome that shyness, because it's really important. If you plan on building a business online, you've got to be social. But it's not the same kind of social that you think. And you can have a different relationship with it. And I find oftentimes if we change our mindset, we change our world. So I welcome you, and we're going to go ahead and get going here. All right. So again, welcome to the Digital Sprinters Mastermind. We meet once a month. It's a way for people to kind of come together. It's a mentoring, it's a group coaching. It's a lot of things. It's people who are all motivated to build their business online. That's the one criteria. They can be in different business models. They can be owners. They can be creator, inventors. They can be sellers. It doesn't matter what model you're in. We're all looking to build our business online. And the strategies that we would partake in are universal. So it's a great group of people and very diverse. So I hope you'll consider joining us. And if you're a shy person, it's one of the great things to do to help you come out of your shyness is to actually join a group. So I love this. I love this picture. How many of you can actually relate with this picture? This is like my favorite thing. You can't see me because I'm hiding behind the tree and I'm hugging it for dear life. So the thought of social and social media sends you running to the forest and hiding behind the trees and not wanting to come out. I'm going to tell you, you're not alone. It can be intimidating for a lot of people. And if you're one of those people that's really uncomfortable with social situations, don't worry. You can work through it and you can gain the strength and the confidence that you need in order to push your business forward. I know because I had to overcome a lot too. So if you're stuck thinking that to build a social following means that you have to be popular or you have to be, fit in with everybody, you can set that aside too, because even social misfits like me can build a social following. Now, we might not build the social following of the same as those that are really popular, but you can build a social following. It doesn't have to be like everybody else. You can actually be yourself. And you're not alone. There's probably a lot more people online that feel like they're social misfits than not. So, and if the idea of friending someone kind of makes your hands go clammy and gets you really nervous, you're not alone there too. But in social media, friending is not the same as it was like in school. It's not the same. Schoolyard rules don't apply. There's a different set of rules. So if you're one of these people, if you're falling into that category, then you're in the right place, because I'm going to share with you some tips and tricks on how to overcome those things or actually work through them, because you're always going to work through them. It's funny. Recently, I've been doing a project for the family, and I'm scanning or digitizing all of these pictures that go back generations. And in there is a mix of pictures from my childhood too. And it's funny how I look at how I've developed over the years, and I was shy then. So, and that hasn't really changed. So it's not that I got over being shy. It's just, I can now work through it. I can stand here or sit here on a video camera talking to you. And I think that's pretty bold for somebody who's shy. So you can do the same thing. And in fact, if you're planning on building a business online, it's required. You kind of need to get through that. You need to break through that ice. And you'll actually want to. Once you get doing a little bit more social interacting online, you'll want to. All right. So let's get into some of those tips. And again, if you want to chime in, feel free. We've got the chat windows open and there's a question box. So feel free to type in questions or jump into the conversation if you have things that you want to say. Otherwise, I'll just go through all of these. So one of the things that you do want to do is watch what others are doing. That was one of the key things for me. And I still just, I watch what other people are doing and saying. It kind of gives you an idea of how they are interacting and what's working and what's not working. And you can watch people that are in your industry. Those would be your competitors, or you can watch people that aren't in your industry. In fact, I like the idea of following people who aren't in your industry and aren't necessarily your competitors, because they're going to have different angles and different ideas that you're not going to get in the same homogenous group. So it actually helps to broaden your scope when you broaden who you're following. So follow people you admire, because really we flock to people who are like us. And if there's some people that you admire and you follow them, then you get to learn from them. Then you're going to be attracting the same type of people that are attracted to them, because we all flock to similar type of people. Not that we're all exactly alike, but we have similarities, similar interests, similar values. Okay. All right. Another one is attend some social media trainings on how to, I think there's a lot of them on how to get more leads or get more followers. And there's a lot of people that do it. It's really big in network marketing. A lot of the MLMers are doing a lot of trainings on how to get followers and get leads. And it's a great way for you to kind of see the techniques that are used to get large groups. Now, granted, I personally don't believe in buying lists. I really don't. I don't like the idea of it. But there are techniques that you can automate, and there's different tricks that you can do. And I think I'm going to drop a name here for you, but Adam Chandler has a really good training and a really good perspective on social media, especially when it comes to Twitter and building your following on Twitter. And I like the fact that he has it's just kind of like an automated process. You can look at it like a game. I think it was one of the things when I watched his training and I listened to him, one of the biggest things I took away from that is it's really a game. You don't have to take it so seriously. So do some trainings, find some trainings online. There's lots of people that give trainings. So you have a good variety, and take a few, find out, who you like to listen to. So the one thing that you shouldn't do is don't hide in the shadows forever. You think it's safe in there, but you're not going to get your business off the ground or building or going anywhere until you come out from behind the shadows. So it's okay to watch and it's okay to listen and look and follow, but you're going to have to lead. If you're building a business online, you have to lead. People follow leaders. You want people to follow you. So you can't stay in the shadows forever. And don't wait until you're sure. That's another thing that I think a lot of people think that, well, I have to have it just right. And I understand the just right thing or having things the way you like them. I get that. But don't wait for perfection, and don't wait until you're sure about things or you have confidence. Confidence is gained through action. So again, you're going to get more confident the more you do it, the more you follow people, the more you send out invitations to people, to friend people, the more interaction you have out there with people, the more confidence you're going to gain. And you can't get that from a training. You've got to actually go and do it. So the next one, do show your face. Once in a while, show your face. Normally, I'm really shy, and showing my face during the entire presentation is a little unnerving for me. Normally, I like to hide. I'll come out in the beginning and then I'll hide behind my picture and you'll hear my voice. But show your face. I know there's a lot of people who do like Facebook Live, or they do a lot of YouTube videos. The reason why is because it helps really let people understand that you're a person, just like they're a person. And the more you do it, the more confidence you get, really. It's just, you don't have to do it all the time, but do it once in a while. Share a little bit about who you are. Again, in business, if you're building your own business, who you are is the cornerstone. Who you are is one of those key foundation pieces to your business. Your vision, who you are, what you're about, what you value. All these things are important because people follow people. People buy from people. So, and if you're in a business where you're trying to acquire customers of some sort, they're going to want to know who you are. So share a little bit about who you are. You don't have to share everything. You don't have to overshare, but share pieces and bits, and some things that, maybe you didn't do right, or maybe you're not comfortable. But share those things so that it really helps them understand who you are. Because we are in a people business, no matter what product or service, and no matter what business model you're in a people business. So some things to avoid, and this is one of my pet peeves, is people trying to be somebody who they're not. It is transparent. And I've actually had people try to tell me stories and make it sound as if it's their story. And they don't know that actually I've been around the block a few times. So I know who wrote that book. I know that person's story. I've read that story. I followed that person their entire career. So don't try to take on something that you're not, because it's going to show through. And then what happens is you destroy all credibility, right? So own who you are. And if you're sharing a story from somebody else that motivated you, just credit them. If you were watching a video from Tony Robbins, give him credit, right? Tell this was his story. Or if it was Dr. Joe and on meditation, give the person the credit that you got it from their book or from their story and it motivated you. But don't try to tell it as if it was yours. And the other thing too that I think is pretty good, I like to hear people have done some research. So if you read an article in Forbes or you read an article in Inc. magazine, cite your reference when you're talking. I don't expect that you have all the statistical analysis tools and all of the data research at your fingertips that you would know stats from your own experience. It's okay to say that you got it from, the U.S. Census Bureau or wherever you got that information from. It's kind of a nice thing. So, what was this other one? Don't hide behind your product. It's kind of interesting because I actually do personally own a corporation, and I have a couple of different companies that are product line companies. And in the beginning, there was really this confusion between the product and me. But really, you can't hide behind the product, because the product, when you're a creator inventor, is actually an extension of you. So they're tightly integrated, and you don't want to hide behind it, because again, people align with people. People buy from people. They have recognition of brands, and that goes into whole branding thing. But don't hide behind your product and just put that at the forefront. You're in a business for yourself, and it is about you. So be who you are and be authentic. The product is secondary. Okay? So I love this slide. Do use humor. If you're funny. Even if you're not funny, still use humor. It's just one of those things. We all like to be entertained, and we all like a good joke. I have one of my clients is actually not very good at joke telling, but the fact that they're not very good at joke telling and they get very excited about a joke when they learn the one joke, I am always tickled. And I always try to get them to tell their joke over and over again because of the energy and just the sheer humor in the humorous telling of a story is delightful. And it works for other people. So if you can use humor, then use humor. Ham it up. Feel free to ham things up. It's okay. And it's not like you're hiding, right? You're just kind of putting a funny spin on things. And another thing is intentionally screw up. I like to once in a while intentionally throw things out there, see if people catch it. It just kind of helps. It helps really take the edge off, and it helps break the ice with people. because you don't want to be too polished. You don't want to be too perfect. You want to be real. You want to be who you are. And let's face it, we're all human and we're all going to screw up. And it's okay if you screw up. In fact, you want to screw up. The difference is in how you handle it when you screw up, right? Like there's times where I've made mistakes with customer orders, and I've sent things out and the customers call me and said, hey, this is, not quite right. No problem. I solve it, I resolve it, and then I've got them for life. It's not the fact that the problem happened. They forget about the problem. What they remember is how you made them feel and how you treated them. So if you keep things positive and you use humor or you use levity or you use humanizing things, they're going to remember you for that. And it helps you come out of your shyness because you'll feel that reciprocating energy from people. You really will. And feel free to be who you are. Let your freak flag fly. So things not to do. Don't take yourself too seriously. Social media, one of the challenges with social media is some people can be kind of brutal. And some people don't mind their manners so much. So don't take yourself so seriously and don't take them so seriously. So if you've got people who are being unkind, don't take it to heart. Don't take it personally. And if you're trying if you're feeling like you're getting too intense on a subject and it's social media, then maybe it's time to take a little break. Kind of back off, take a breather, come back to it later. Yeah, and don't take other people's comments to heart unless they're saying nice things. If they're saying nice things and they're giving you praise, then hey, take that one to heart. The rest of it, there's critics for everything. We're all going to be different. And there's people out there who I think like to coach you even if you don't ask them to coach you. You know the ones. Just let it run off your shoulder like water off a duck's back. If people are being out and out rude, there's this lovely thing on social media. It's called block and remove. And if they're being really abusive, report. So it's not like you're powerless. So you don't have to be a victim and you don't have to put up with bad behavior from people. And don't judge others. You kind of have to have a little bit more of an open mind and relax your barriers a little bit when you're in social media. I know recently there were a lot of people who were just really getting very emotional and very upset, very strong opinions on a political event that was happening, and very strong opinions and very emotional things were going on. And really, that's not the place for it. It really isn't. It's the cyber world. It really isn't the place for it. So what is the next one? So the next, join a group or 2 or 3. If you're socially introverted, you're socially shy, and you're unsure of yourself, joining groups is a wonderful thing to do because groups help you learn how to interact, especially in the digital world. And joining digital groups is a great way to get familiar with how do people do things and what do people do, what works, what doesn't work. And it's also a great way to increase your social circle and your social media circle in a very small, controlled environment. Masterminds are wonderful things. And believe me, you could join the digital mastermind. They're designed to be supportive. Mastermind groups are designed to be supportive, and they're designed to help you grow. You contribute, others contribute. You all help coach and mentor each other. So groups are wonderful places. The other thing is to ask a social butterfly. So I'm shy, but I happen to have a sister who's a little bit of a social butterfly. She has no problem videoing everything and putting it out on her Facebook channel. She's very social. You go to a party with her and she'll know everybody. So, I ask for their thoughts and opinion. I'll ask people who are not shy what they do. Not that I'm going to be them, but I can kind of do a toned down version of them, or I can do my version of them. And oftentimes you'll find from the real social butterflies, the one thing that we shy people do is we get very serious about things. And social media is not that serious of a thing. You can friend people. It's okay. It doesn't mean that you're moving in with them or they're moving in with you. You're just social friends on social media. And if you find that you're not getting along or they're not your cup of tea, you can actually quietly unfriend them and move along. So that's what social butterflies do. Or they just ignore them. They ignore the ones that don't really resonate with them, and they pay more attention to the ones that do. And they still build these huge social circles. So some things not to do is don't just join any group. You want to join a positive group. You want to join a group that has some things going on, not a dead group. I belong to a group of amazing world-class marketers, online marketers. And I spend every day with them, at least half an hour with someone or more in this group. And it's wonderful because it's really positive, it's inspiring, it's motivating. And again, it's that social connection, really important. So I find that very beneficial for me, and it really does help push me out of my comfort zone, because you kind of want to push outside of your comfort zone. You have to. If you're growing your business and you're growing a business online, there's no other venue that's going to push you to grow yourself more than that. Okay? So, and the other thing is, don't think that you have to accept every invitation. You don't have to. If something doesn't look right to you or doesn't feel right to you, and you really got a bad feeling, feel free to walk away. I have declined several. Okay, a couple more things because I got to get going. We're almost to the half hour, and we've got the second half that we all have to sign off to share what our goals have been and to catch up with what we were doing last month. So that'll be fun. So another thing, do you set a regular schedule? So if you routinely set a schedule and you stick to that schedule, really important, and it should be every day. There's no reason that you can't do something in social media every day. And the more you do it, the more you exercise those social media muscles, the more repetition you get, then the better and the stronger you're going to be. When I was training to be a marathon runner, and I used to run marathons, but I trained every day. Now, there were some days where I was resting, some days I swam, some days I ran, but it was every day, a little bit every day. So setting a regular schedule is really important. Weed out your follows. So if you find that you're following things that just are just taking you down the wrong path, then unfollow and weed through them. If you're finding that things are showing up in your feed that really aren't who you are, what you're about, then go ahead and unfollow those, because you want your digital real estate to be filled with things that resonate with you. And do share other people's stuff. It's always fun to retweet what other people do and to comment on other people's stuff and to go look at other people's fan pages for their business, not just the friend pages, but the fan pages where they're building their businesses, and go comment there, and Pinterest pin things and like things on Instagram. So be sure you're sharing other stuff. It's always nice. So don't over automate. Some things to don't do really quick. Don't over automate your social media. I made this mistake. So I like to automate where I can. And so some things I get into moods where I'm really writing a lot. So I can write a bunch of posts, but I don't want to just go post them all right away. So I'll put them on automation. That's fine. And even to follow and unfollow on automation is okay to a certain degree. But I had one for some reason. I wasn't thinking, and I allowed it to retweet, and I allowed it to not comment, I think just retweet. And I went to look at my social feed, and there were some things that this automated tool was retweeting that it was not appropriate for my site. So don't over automate your social media. Make sure you're going out there and you're actually looking at content that people are creating. You know, if it's just 7 or 8 a day, or you can dedicate 5 minutes or 10 minutes in cracks of time. But do that yourself. Don't let a machine retweet, because you'll be sorry. All right. And don't tolerate abusers. If people are abusive, walk away. You don't have to put up with it. All right. Social media should be uplifting. It should be fun. It should be of value for everybody. So walk away from bullies. And if they're really bad, report them. Get them shut down. All right. And the other thing is just keep at it a little bit every day. Just keep at it and keep at it. And before you know it, you're actually going to have a huge following, and your confidence is going to grow, and you'll forget that you were ever even shy. Probably not. You're always going to be shy, but you'll have the confidence to go through and work through the shyness. All right. So I got to run to the other half, but if you want to learn more about the digital sprinters, there's my website, so you can find some information there, and I'll also send out that link. Actually, let me do that right now so you all have it in here. There it is. So yeah, you can just click on this and you can go ahead and sign up if you want. There it is. To be a part of the Digital Sprinters Mastermind, we welcome you to join us. All right. So next time actually will be 2017 when we meet again. I hope your holidays are merry and bright, and I wish you the very best for the closing out of 2016, and looking forward to really rocking your business in 2017. All right. Take care.